So this is my 2012 Giant Revel Zero, I guess. And this is the business side. I just installed the 203 millimeter rotors on the back. Now I need to do it on the front. I'm going to show you how to go about doing that and how cheap. The main things you need: a new bracket, which is gonna, because this is a post mount, so it's gonna move the whole caliper out and down a little bit. And on the back here, this one sticks it out further and moves it forward a little bit. So the factory one looks very similar to this. This is the side mount. This is typically what's on the back. Sometimes you have that up front, but this bike actually has two different ones. So that's where the post mount comes in, and the side mount is labeled as IS mount. So just in case you're not sure which one, and you just get them for a 203 millimeter rotor. And I'm gonna pull the front wheel off and show you the difference. So here's my 203 millimeter, and there we go. There's the 160 millimeter. Bit of a difference. These are the 203. This is almost 8 inches, and this is just under 6.5 inches. So you're gaining almost 1.5 inches of rotor, which outside circumference, you're gaining a lot more rotational, a lot more leverage on the braking ability. And the other advantage is because you have so much more area for heat disbursement. So if you look at the length, the linear length going around, you have so much more length going around the diameter of the rotor, because that's important when you're talking about heat distribution. If it takes you 20 feet to stop, that's the rotation is the same, but the distance around the brake it's greater, and so the rotor is actually going to be dissipating more heat by the time the caliper comes back around. So that's a big part of having bigger brakes. And they also stop quicker, so you also have both of those things working together, and so your brakes don't get all nice and heat treated like these ones are. And I'm not even riding hard. This is like very gentle riding, just cruising around and then stopping. So it's T25 Torx, and it's best if you have an extension and you're using 2 hands. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah, so T25 Torx, and then pull them all out, and then should be able to just slap this thing right on. There we go. So got the new rotors on. Now got to turn our attention to the brakes, caliper. Oh, just as a reference, that's what you're gaining. So this is a 5 millimeter. That's where it is. There we go. 5 millimeter. Just pop these loose, take them out, and then you're gonna put the adapter. You're gonna bolt this to the adapter. Well, it's easier to bolt the adapter up first and then bolt the caliper to it. But here we go. Get this off, and then okay. The moment you've all been waiting for. Whoops. Okay, so here's an important thing to do, not to drop everything. Take for instance, okay, well, that popped off anyways. So here's why you don't want to lose everything. These are not just washers, concave and convex, so that way you can adjust the caliper like this to make sure it is straight on the rotor, because things can get a little tweaked, so that way you can have a true fitment each time. So now we go. Pull this out. Nice and gold. Because that's what it's all about. And then, okay. Okay. So got it on there. And the caliper is not tight. It's just mostly tight. And you can hear it drag. So what you're going to do is you're going to back it off a little bit. But then you're also going to look straight down. You see the clearance there? On this side, I don't really have any clearance. Let me see with my own eyeballs. I don't really see any clearance. But what you're looking for is to try to get there to be a little gap. Probably just have to loosen this up a bit. So what you're going to do is just kind of, oh, there we go. Nope. Okay. So I'm going to use both. Have it. I loosened that and now it's just spinning. I'm going to take the wheel off. But also, it's probably best if you change your brake pads. If not, what I do is I just sand them down real quickly, get the glaze off them, use like 100 grit, get them nice and rough again. That way they can seat to some new brakes. And that's what I'm going to do. But there's going to be a little bit of rubbing, and then as you ride, if they're mechanical, you gotta adjust them in a little bit to where they're going to start grabbing good, and then you can just kind of fine tune from there. I had to do that with the back brakes. They were grabbing but not hard enough, so I had to slowly tighten them inward to where whenever I'd hit the brake they'd actually lock up. So that's just what you do at the front. So here you go. Here's what it looks like with 203 millimeter with small car brakes on it. Is just a quick little ride around. Brakes work terrific. That's for a baby carrier or child seat, whatever you want to call it. But now, to put these things to work. Also, thanks for watching.